I dodged 2 molestation attempts.
Really?
Yeah, 2.
What'd you dodge?
Well, I dodged one of them when I probably was like 7 or 8 years old. That was the scare. Well, they were both pretty scary, but that was the scarier one because I was at the library, and I was by myself. You know, I was a latchkey kid. My parents just let me out of the house, which, you know, at the time was kind of normal. In retrospect, like thinking about it now, like I couldn't imagine letting my 7-year-old just fucking
library.
wander around. Not just that, but walk to the public library. You know, in San Francisco. And this guy, I was looking at, I was always into like horror movies and monster movies. And so I was reading these books they had a section of like, you know, monster books.
Yeah.
And this guy came up to me and he goes, do you like monster books? I go, yeah. And he goes, oh, I have some monster books in my car. You want to see them? I'm
No.
like, okay. Like, I didn't know any better. I was 8 years old or whatever it was. And as I'm leaving with this guy, the librarian starts screaming, Joseph, you get away from that man. You know, like, that man just got out of jail. And she yells at him to get out of there, and the guy runs away, and I just started crying. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I dodged that bullet. And then another time when I was 13. When I was 13, we were hanging around this lake in Jamaica Plain. It was Jamaica Pond was this place we would go and fish. And there was another pond that was like this neighboring pond that was like slightly smaller. And this guy was always like running around the lake. He was jogging. And me and my friend Josh would be hanging out. And this guy would come over and talk to us. You know, he seemed like a super normal guy. He used to be a teacher, and he had retired, and, you know, he probably was like in his 60s. And then one day, it's just me.
He went for it.
One day, it's just me, and I'm fishing, and he comes by, and he's drunk.
Damn.
And he tells me he loves me, and I'm like super confused.
How old were you?
13.
Okay.
And I had been talking to this guy on and off. I had seen him, you know, for months.
Yeah.
Like, he'd come by, say hi. It was always like casual, very good humored, very friendly, but he was like setting us up. And he comes by, and then I realize after, he tells me he loves me, but there can be no love without. That's what he says. And I'm like, what? And I had a knife. So I remember, like, I grabbed my knife in my pocket, and I had my hand on my knife, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to stab this guy. Yeah. I was like, this is going to, because there was no one around. There was no one around.
Wow.
It was just trees and
You were 13,
forest.
you were like, I'm going to have to stab.
Oh, I was going to cut this guy.
I would have trusted the guy. I would have been like, yeah, you're right.
You're smarter than me.
I'll see you later. I don't know what.
It was dangerous.
We had a guy go for us.
Yeah.
There was a guy that used to linger. Hilarious, dude. He was mentally challenged, but he would always hang out around my high school, and he would go to all the like basketball games. One day, we had like a tape recorder for the national anthem to play at the beginning of games. They would just hold a mic next to a tape recorder. It broke, so the mentally handicapped guy stood up and started singing, and the whole gym was like, they started listening. Everybody just listened to the guy sing the national anthem.
Oh my God! Did he get all the words right?
I don't remember. I doubt it. I doubt it, dude. I think he was freestyling a little.
And the Rockets
but no, he would try to get you. He would go to games, but he was like, again, it wasn't that long ago. It was long enough that like people were like, yeah, he's weird. That old thing where like, there's a town pedophile, but he's a weird guy.
Yeah.
So he would like be like, you guys want to play football? And we were little kids at the high school football game playing like touch football, and he was like, you guys want to come out to my car? I have Nerf balls, and we were all like, no, dude, stop trying to us. Like, we knew what he was doing. He was like, all right, see you guys.
Did he get away with it with anybody?
Probably.
If you get the mentally handicapped guy tricks you into getting into his car.
Nerf balls. I got Nerf balls out.
That's
in my
how
car.
he gets you?
And we were just fully like,
Nobody
dude,
would ever like take your advice again.
No.
Like, bro.
you got raped by that.
I got you.
You got raped by an idiot, dude. Yeah, but just even in like 5th, 6th grade, we were like, no, dude, stop trying to rape us.
Every neighborhood has a guy.
Yeah. I didn't even realize the other guy. We had two guys. The other guy was he had a tricycle with his name on a license plate, like a fake license plate on the front of his tricycle. It was a sick tricycle. But he would come around and he would speak gibberish, but every once in a while it would get kind of like he would come over and just be like, "Do you like pancakes?" We're like, "Yeah, dude, we love pancakes." And he's like, "Do you ever put syrup on your pancakes?" We're like, yeah. He's like, "You ever put syrup down your pants? You ever rub syrup all over your?" Dude, stop. And then he'd just keep tricycling, dude.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know if they ever actually got anyone.
Sometimes it just doesn't work, and they just keep swinging
Just keep swinging,
forever.
dude. There's always like it was always on To Catch a Predator. They would always catch like a mentally handicapped guy. And there was always a part of me like,
Yeah.
come on.